I bet you all want to see me in that blue suit. Yeah, I'm going to cut out the carbs and maybe do a few more sit-ups. So, one of my initial jobs after being crowned King Neptune in June was marching in the Pride Parade. It was my first chance to dip my toe into this overwhelming seafair experience that I get to have as King Neptune, and I had a blast. Marching down 4th Avenue with Queen Alcyone, Kim Holcomb, and our Miss Seafair, who is amazing, Andrea Diaz. About halfway through the parade, a woman on the side of the road yells, "King! Hey, King!" I remember I'm wearing a crown, so I turn around and she yells, "Are you a real king?" And I say, "Well, I guess I am. I'm the king of Seafair." She then puts her hands on her hips and shouts, "Then we need to talk." Clearly she had a few gripes with the city, but I mutter, "Sorry, can't stop right now," and I march on because it is a parade and that is what you do. But it got me thinking. First, that woman needs a better understanding of how city government works. And second, I'm going to have a crown and a sash for a month of Seafair events. I better be ready for anything. When I was first crowned, my friends and colleagues asked, "Why did they pick you?" Well, maybe their emphasis was, "Hey, why did they pick you?" But you know how you hear things when it's your friends. And you might be thinking the same thing. So what is it that I do that makes me the right choice for King Neptune? As Steve said, I'm basically an all-around theater guy. I perform, direct, and write at most of the major theater companies in Seattle. One of my home bases as an actor, I've been in 26 productions at the 5th Avenue Theater. And a bunch of other places in town. But what connects me the most to the Seattle area is my songwriting. I have written over 300 songs, and Seattle has been an inspiration for many of those song lyrics. For 16 holiday seasons, I poked fun at Seattle's Christmas traditions in a little show called Forbidden Christmas. I wrote numbers in that show like the Bond Star Blues, where the iconic Macy's star laments her name change with lines like, "Instead of market mangers, I shine down on strangers, passed out from fortified wine, hanging here at 4th and Pine." I wrote a vocal jazz version of Frosty the Snowman called Steve Poole the Weatherman. There was a woman's letter to Santa that started with the line, "I want a Tacoma man with a Tacoma truck." But my Seattle songs aren't just holiday songs. I wrote a show that roasted the summer music festivals at the Seattle Center called Bummer Shoot. It featured local parody bands like the Medina Transfer, who had a song about the Microsoft campus called Nerdland, and a group affectionately called the Totally Inexperienced Gospel Choir. Yeah, those were silly. I even wrote a 1940s love song between Gallopin' Gertie and her boyfriend, Gig Harbor, that after some wibbly wobbling ends kind of tragically. So as Seattle's go-to songwriter for hire, I was called on to write dozens of opening numbers for auctions and galas all over the region about everything from the Fred Hutchinson Research Center to the Washington Wine Auction over at Chateau Saint Michel. I even wrote a number last fall to celebrate Patty Payne called Patty Payne Fever Time. Yeah, I could have pulled that one out today. By the way, for that evening, the event organizers talked me into dressing up like Patty. Surprisingly, I looked pretty good. Aren't you glad I didn't dress up like you today, Patty? Aren't you all glad I didn't dress up like Patty today? And all of that led me to where I am today, as the 70th King Neptune of Seafair. As a songwriter, I believe that every person, every building, every city has a story, and within every one of those stories, there is a song. And you can't ignore that a big part of the story of Seattle is the Seafair legacy. Back in 1950, Seattle didn't have any major league sports teams, and being up here in the northwest corner of the mainland 48, we were a little thirsty for national attention. So, a bunch of local business leaders recruited St. Paul, Minnesota's Winter Carnival director, Walter Van Camp, to help produce a similar summertime event in the Emerald City. It would be called Seafair. And they got it up really fast, building the Aqua Theater at Green Lake in just 75 days. As Eric mentioned yesterday, I don't think they had to deal with as many permits. That first 10-day festival, complete with parades, boat races on Green Lake, and Seafair royalty, was such a success, they added hydroplane races the following year and were off and running. Now in its 70th year, Seafair isn't just a 10-day festival, but a 10-week festival with events that reach over 2 million people. And this year, I get to be a part of that Seafair legacy. Believe me, I don't take it lightly. I am beyond honored. For me, the whole experience has strengthened my bond with this city, my connection to the city. A city that has welcomed me and my wacky duffel bag of talents with open arms. A city that understands the importance of the performing arts to the prosperity of any community. In fact, according to a 2012 study, nonprofit arts and culture are an over $450 million industry in Seattle, one that generates over $38 million in local and state government revenue. That same study said that Seattle's creative vitality is nearly 3 times the national average, among the highest in the nation. And that means people like me are able to make a living here and call this place home. And sometimes get crowned King of Seafair. And sometimes get to become a part of the legacy, the story of this amazing city. So as King Neptune, I may not be able to solve all of that Pride Parade woman's gripes with the city, but if I had a second to talk to her, I would have said, hey, I understand. I have a few gripes too. But when Seafair throws this particular summer party, when Seafair shines a light on the diversity and pride we all have in what this city has accomplished, when Seattle celebrates being Seattle, well, that is something to write a song about. I got a few more days of this packed Seafair schedule, but I promise you, by the end of the week, there'll be a song. Thank you very much.